Greetings, everyone. My name is Marwa Fatafta. I am a Palestinian digital rights advocate and tech policy expert, usually based in Germany, but this time I'm joining you from occupied Palestine. I'm really sad I'm not able to share with you the stage today, but equally grateful that I'm still able to talk to you through this video. And I have a very simple personal story to tell. I come from a small village in Palestine, a place where being a woman means living within strict boundaries that dictate how I speak, dress, and behave. But I am a rebel, and as you know, society does not forgive rebels easily. I did not want to compromise on the life I wanted. Yet at the same time, I knew changing the mindset of an entire community was mission impossible. So I adapted. I lived two parallel lives. I had two identities. Each was hidden from the other. Wherever I went, on the street, at work, with friends, at home with my family, I was caught in this never-ending, exhausting exercise of negotiating between the two versions of myself. I always had to think, which version of myself should I show more of? Which one should remain hidden in the shadows? And this constant balancing act was suffocating. Then came social media. I was just starting university when social media platforms became a thing. If you remember at the time, they promised us endless possibilities: democracy, free speech, liberation, freedom. But I realized that the digital space is yet another space where I had to manage my existence as a woman, living within these strict boundaries. So I had to manage my life or my image online, just as I did offline. For 15 years, I lived like this, but at some point I couldn't anymore. The emotional and mental toll of maintaining two identities became unbearable. It was not just exhausting, it was traumatizing. The idea, the thought of someone glimpsing into my full, unfiltered life terrified me. Not because I was doing anything wrong, but I knew that stepping out of line drawn by society had real consequences. Meanwhile, my career was growing. I started receiving requests for interviews, conferences, press interviews, and hiding was no longer an option for me. So I made a decision. I would unite both sides of myself and step into the light fully, unapologetically, and regardless of consequences. That decision freed me, but it also revealed to me a very profound fact. As women, we are expected to remain invisible, yet we are denied our right to privacy. Any piece of personal information, a photo with a loved one, a casual photo of us at home, our home addresses, the addresses of our children's schools, a screenshot of an intimate conversation. Any piece of information can be used against us. I've seen women, journalists, activists, feminists, lawyers, women who dared to take up space, to speak up, to challenge authority, being hacked, surveilled, smeared, attacked online. And I know the fear firsthand. My late friend, the Emirati activist Ala As-Siddiq, was hacked with the infamous Pegasus spyware. Even before her phone hacking was confirmed, she felt watched all the time. She was afraid to take the same route twice. Whenever she used the metro, she was afraid of being pushed onto the tracks. Another friend of mine, a human rights lawyer, was so terrified after learning that her phone was hacked, also with Pegasus, that she panicked whenever a stranger would come close to her while walking on the streets. I have met women whose private photos, pictures without veil, simply lounging in a swimsuit, were spread online to harm them, to shame them, to portray them as morally loose. In Tunisia, Women judges were fired a couple of years ago, and soon after, some of them had their virginity tests circulating on social media in order to humiliate them. In Egypt, young girls on TikTok are being jailed for violating family values, values that the state defines and weaponizes whenever it sees fit. And the message here is clear. Morality is being used as a tool of repression. And this is why the fight for digital rights is a deeply personal one to me. As a feminist, as a Palestinian, I see it as an extension of our broader struggle towards liberation, freedom, and equality. And this is why you should care about it too. Your phone is an extension of yourself, of your mind, of your memories, of your experiences, your relationships. Each of us leaves behind a digital shadow, a trail of data so detailed that if pieced together, it can reveal everything about us. Our identities, our friendships, our beliefs, our health status, our mental state, interests, passions, even fears and anxieties. Now imagine all of this falling into the wrong hands. It's scary, right? But this is not where the story ends. There are things we can do to fight back. First, take control of your personal information. In the age of surveillance capitalism, a world where data equals profit, tech companies are desperate to collect as much of our information as possible. So be mindful, be stingy, check your privacy settings, read the fine print of apps and services you download and use. Think twice before you share information about you and who you share it with. These are basic digital hygiene practices that everyone should follow. But let's be clear also that these steps won't necessarily protect us from all sorts of harm, such as spyware. If you suspect you're a target, get your device checked. Speak up. The surveillance industry thrives in secrecy. But as the cliché saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Journalists and civil society have been relentlessly working towards exposing these spyware companies, their clients, and the human rights abuses they help facilitate. So we must support their efforts. And we must demand action. These technologies should be banned and sanctioned, and until they are, we have work to do. We need to create safe spaces for women targeted by digital violence. They don't just need legal help, they need psychological and social support to heal from the trauma of being hacked and humiliated online. And more so, don't be a pawn in the system. Smear campaigns and hate speech thrive on attention. They survive because people share and circulate this harmful content. Don't engage, don't share, be the dam where the flow stops. And finally, let's not kid ourselves. Social media companies don't care about us. Disinformation, hate speech, smear campaigns, incitement to violence, incitement to genocide, as we've seen during the genocide in Gaza. They thrive on these platforms because it means money and more money for these companies. And especially in regions like ours, companies have shown time and time again they've shown little interest in moderating harmful content, in protecting users from the region, from harm, and mitigating abuse. I know this is barely any news, but when I look into the future, and the near one that is, I see tech fascism on the rise. Tech billionaires are aligning with power to make more money with zero accountability for the harms and the abuses they help facilitate or help create. Look no further at what Meta did right after Trump won the elections. They changed their hate speech policy where now people can call women as household objects or property, just to please those who are in power. We live again in the era of feudalism. But this time, we're governed by a few powerful tech bros that you can count on one hand. They set the rules that dictate how we talk, how we act, and how our information is being used in the digital sphere. And this keeps me thinking a lot these days. How can we break away from this current reality? What alternative presents and futures can we help fight for and help create? And this is not just a fight for or a fight about women in our region. It's not about journalists and activists. It's about all of us. Because if we do nothing, our silence will be used against us. So, let's fight for our right to be seen, and also for our right to be safe. And to bring the story to a positive ending, each one of us has a role to play. And the question I will leave with you today is, will you play yours? Thank you.